My name's Steve Davies, from a company called Frantic. We are here at Production Park Studios, the Mill, in Earlsfield in London. We are not at the British Music Embassy in Austin, Texas, for South by Southwest due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Instead, we've moved a lot of the original family and a lot of the acts here to the studios Production Park kindly let us use. We've put on a bunch of production, a lot of text and a lot of music, and we're doing it without audiences.
This event was put together over a number of months for the event in Texas. The only thing that really has changed is the venue. Obviously with South by being cancelled, we found ourselves in a situation where this studio would have been empty for the 2 weeks because I would have been in Texas. So it just seemed like an obvious kind of solution would be to try and recreate a showcase here in this studio. It was free, it was available. So we basically diverted all the resources that were going to Texas and all the brands, all these guys that you see here, Alan Heath being, predominantly one of the main ones. A lot of phone calls, a lot of sweet talking people to get them to send the gear here instead.
So we have 4 bands playing today. The great thing about dLive is the flexibility and ease of use. It means that a number of engineers who maybe haven't used the product before have walked up to it and have been able to get on with it straight away. And a number of engineers have come to us with show files from gigs they've done with dLive before. We've been able to integrate that really quickly with our system here, so they can use shows that they've already built with settings they're already comfortable with in the showcase today.
For this show specifically, well actually for all shows, I think having a dLive is about channel count, bus count, the ability to pretty much do anything you want. You're not restricted by anything, and they're really user friendly, like the ability to actually find what you need on the console, touch the screens, touch the knobs, everything's there at your fingertips.
The console, as every year, is a hugely welcome addition to our production. For me, the way the user interface works on this makes doing as many bands as we do throughout the year a lot easier. So normally we'll have 60 or 70 bands coming throughout a week. Won't necessarily know much about them until shortly before they go on. And with the drag and drop user interface, I can quickly build scenes, getting rid of irrelevant channels, so I can navigate my way around the console sort of quickly and safely, and that makes all the difference. It's such a great desk to busk a gig on.
A lot of the built-in effects, they've spent a lot of money on R&D, and they actually give you, by standard, good EQs, good compressors, good gates that actually sound as they're supposed to sound. You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours trying to find something. You can actually, when you put a high-pass filter on, it works. When you put a compressor on, you set it to a nice threshold, it works and sounds like a compressor. So actually, a standard, a lot of those things are incredible to use, and it means that straight away you can get sound up and the band are playing, and they're all looking at you. You've got 5 minutes to mix a band. It's there in minutes.
As always, Alan Heath's support has been amazing this year, and you can see on the rack behind us, we've got some of the new super mic pre's, which we've managed to patch through to both consoles.
So they're basically a rack of, there's a slot card with 8 inputs in, and you can have outputs as well, and they're like a really nice preamp. They're very transparent, they've got more, you can hear the HF. It's the difference between having a vocal here and a vocal right here.
It's quite a complicated system. We have all of the audio going into our prime cards and going into the DM64 that's doing monitors. From there we're splitting over GigaAce. We have a redundant Cat5 link to Avantis, a redundant Cat5 link to the front of house console, and we also have a Dante link for recording. So yesterday and today that's the BBC, and tomorrow we'll be using a company called MQA who'll be broadcasting live on the internet.
I've worked with dLive a lot. It's a good console. It's a fantastic console. Until this week, today, I hadn't seen this console. It's brilliant. It's user-friendly. It's obviously aimed at a slightly different part of the market, but the fact that it's touchscreen, it's got everything you need. You touch, you see what you want. You turn an encoder, it's there.
We've had a number of engineers. Some have chosen to use dLive. Some have decided they wanted to try out the new Avantis. The reaction's been overwhelmingly positive. The feedback we've got has sort of ranged from people who've used our products before, saying, actually it's been a really easy transition from dLive. It all makes sense. It's all sort of very logically laid out. And people who haven't used it before said, I've got on with it straight away. The interface is really easy to use, really quick. Been able to get straight onto into mixing and thinking more about mixing the band than necessarily using the product.
It's rugged, it's hardcore, you know, look at it, it's sturdy, you don't want to drop it, but it looks like you could drop this thing. It's got big, strong handles, you know. We mixed a band on it yesterday and it sounded great, you know. It was really easy, patched 1-to-1 here in the patch bay. It sounded incredible, you know, everything was there that you needed.
For me, knowing that Alan Heath was supplying these consoles and they were supplying Jack to give us a hand with it all, just meant that I didn't have to worry about this side of it. As we've supplied the rest of the production, we've done the video wall and the lighting. The whole process has been made so much easier by having this involvement.
You know, it's a UK company. We're a UK production team. We all decamped to Texas and set up there, and they managed to get all the gear there, and it all works perfectly and it's supported perfectly. South by is, as well as breaking artists coming through the stage, it's a very important aspect is it's breaking crews coming through as well. A lot of the sound engineers come through South by with these bands. A lot of them are their first time out, they're not very well toured, they've not really had experience with a lot of consoles. And should they have arrived at the front of house area at the shows, whether it's here or in Texas, and struggled with the desks, then whatever I thought, I would have had no choice but to rethink that. But they don't. With the tech and the support behind it, these guys, they walk away smiling, and they have a great time. And ultimately, that's the game. That's what we're looking for. Really.